Let your spirit grow wings and fly. And fly with me. And fly with me.
Alright, hi out in the YouTube land. It's me again, the Puzzle Master. And in this video, I'm kind of gonna be shitting on a video. Sorry, I have to be honest. And it's a video called Why Die? The image looks like this. Highly recommend you go watch it. But brace yourself for like an uber mindfuck, because I mean, some things upon first, first recollection, first instance that you think of it, might sound like hunky-dory awesome, like, whoa, that's a good idea. But to make such an elaborate video about it that continues to justify and just provide point after point that seems to support, I think, a really diluted view is just insanity to me, right? Like, imagine you're like, oh, I want it to be day all the time, because I don't like nighttime. I don't like night. It's got to be day all the time. Half the world would burn and the other side would be all ice, because the heat's got to go around. You got to think about stuff in full, because it's not magic. It's not magic land, okay? So that's not, I don't think that the video was very well thought out, and I'm going to point out some of the inconsistencies or things that I would really kind of, I don't know, from a very materialistic point of view, I could see people, because like obviously, like, what's his name again there? Obviously CGP Grey is a chicken shit and he's uber terrified of death. Right, so he feels that, a natural part of nature don't need to be respected, like, I'll put in this cool thing from, remember one of my favorite movies that kind of really encapsulates this theme is Death Becomes Her, Natural law, like, I'll put in a little snippet of that because I love that movie.
So warm, so full of life, and already it ebbs away from you. This is life's ultimate cruelty. It offers us the taste of youth and vitality, and then makes us witness our own decay.
Well, it is the natural law.
Oh, screw the natural law!
But, yeah, some of the inconsistencies there, like, I mean, at one point in the video he says that, like, it's a perversion because we've had to deal with death through our entire, like, biological process and total culture humanity has experienced, so we've developed a perverse relationship with it, where we just accept it. Well, people like in Mexico, like, what is it, like Cinco de Mayo, Day of the Dead, they praise and give thanks to their ancestors, It doesn't have to be a boo-hoo emotional trauma kind of thing, like a crybaby. It can be like, oh, I remember the good times. They taught me things, and I'm so glad that, like, they are able to pass on, some of their essence to me before they left, and that I have those memories of them. And those memories of them are actually more treasured because they aren't here anymore. If they were here, I'd go and see them if I missed them. But I can't, because, that death thing that we're talking about, right? But, okay, I'm gonna watch some more of the video, and then I'll put in little snippets of some of the, I mean, he says some things that, like, he's trying to sound so profound, but they're just blatantly obvious that, like, I mean, gosh, like, some of the stuff, like, well, you don't die in the future when it really happens. I mean, like, cause in the future, it's your now, and, like, all elaborate imagery as if it's this profound thought. I mean, duh, I mean, all that really would signify to me is that he's just terrified. Because he don't want to go. Because he loves the world. But you know, like, to get a little spiritual, I believe in, like, reincarnation. So if you love the world and you love all of the, like, Artha, Kama, Darksha, Moksha, or well, not Moksha, but if you loved all those other ones, then you'd keep coming back. Like, I mean, I don't think he plays this one part where he, you know, you gotta be on this side of the timeline of the future.
The difference of but a day might determine what side of the future chasm you find yourself on, journeying forever forward or falling backward into the abyss.
Or else you're gonna be in this chasm. That's where he stopped thinking. Like, because the chasm represents the thought process, okay, and it was broken. Because, you know, our overpopulation of the planet, how that's already a problem? And we die. And we're still overpopulating the planet and using up all its resources. And we die. Can you imagine how much quicker we'd fuck things up if we didn't? Like, maybe Mother Nature thought things out before, you know, this grand cycle and this very intricate system of nature, all of which has life and has death. So I just found it so like I know we live in a very like dualistic or like dichotomy, polarized, you know, happy, sad, light, dark, and all that, and people want to be like, oh, the dark. But I mean, really, like, the middle path is more the way of try to be a little neutral, maybe investigate both sides before condemnation. Or, you know, calling things like what he said there, like, and being rather rude, because Cinco de Mayo is like a sacred tradition. Like, and he said it's a perversion, like our relationship that humanity has, you know, developed with death. Right? But yeah, I'll watch a little more, that way I have some more to comment on.
You don't live in the future. You always live in the now, and thus you always die now.
Yeah, like that. That's profound. Like, this person's done the research. Like, A+.
Because the Reaper comes for all eventually, humans have formed a relationship with death. Death is a part of life, he whispers. Death gives life meaning. This is madness.
Okay. No. No, it's not. This video that I'm talking about, this life forever, like, or what was, it's not life forever. I'm like, why die? Like, that's madness.
This is life's ultimate cruelty. It offers us a taste of youth and vitality, and then makes us witness our own decay.
Well, it is the natural law.
No, screw the natural law! No, screw the natural law! No, screw the natural law!
That's just what? Like, it blows my mind. That people can think that, right?
If you tortured people to make them better appreciate the pleasures of life, you would be a monster.
I think this video is a monster. Like, because everything that they're teaching here is bizarre and kind of whack. Right? I mean, each their own. If you want to go and live forever, go right on ahead. But I think you'd go nuts. Like, this person didn't even really do much thought when it comes to like the psychological implications. Like, you'd eventually forget what your parents looked like, your parents' name. You'd have to like your parents' names. You have to like go in photo albums to remember what they looked like. Memories would fade. Would you want that? Like, I mean, if everyone could live forever, well, there'd be no missing, and like, I mean, there'd just be so many problems in the fabric of reality that makes up nature. It is natural law, okay? And like, just like in that clip I showed earlier, the screw natural law. See how crazy she sounded? Well, that's this guy telling us that like, it's good to live forever. That way we can overpopulate the planet even more and just, you know, be shoulder to shoulder with everybody and just kumbaya, you know, in our farts.
Just like this guy, no parent would ask the Reaper of Age to wrinkle their child's.
Yeah, and because no parent would ask the Reaper that, because the Reaper is not a personification carrying around a scythe. So to personify the Reaper in such a simplistic way is just childish. And I mean, it seems like this video was very much designed for people who are very young, like, because it's childish. But that's what pisses me off about it, is that it's designed for a young audience, has lots of subscribers, it has very influential to people, and it's not right. It's I mean, to each their own, right? Like, people want to go about that, trying to middle pillar, right? Like, they can go about it however they want, but like, they would no longer be a part of nature. They would be like robots or like technology. So they would you'd no longer be natural if you lived forever, because you go nuts. Like, your memory and like, I mean, all of that stuff. Like, and what if they could store it on a USB drive and just, you know, plug it into your head? Oh, that sounds like paradise, doesn't it? Like, it's just all messed up.
Comes, it is not in the future, because you don't live in the future. You always live in the now, and thus you always die now.
Let your spirit grow wings and fly with me, and fly with me.